lovelies. This is 5 Minute Manifesting, and I'm your host, Lovey Brown. Thank you so much for listening. I'm thrilled that you're here. And today I want to talk to you about what I mean when I say it's your focus that manifests. That manifesting is all about where you place your focus. So what I mean by that is that every person in the entire world has some set of assumptions and beliefs and thoughts that they're creating or selecting their current life or reality from. That's what's happening, and that's how we move about the world. That's how every person in the world is. Now, when we learn about manifesting, we're learning to select those thoughts and those assumptions and those just who we are and who we think other people are deliberately. So we're doing it on purpose because we know that our thoughts create or our thoughts choose our reality. And we know that where we put our focus is what's going to show up in our world. So because we know that, or because we're learning that through the manifesting process, we can get a different outcome than we've been getting when we don't know that information. Because the actual process itself remains the same, whether you know about manifesting, whether you know about deliberately choosing where you put your focus and your attention and your thoughts and choosing who you are as a person and your thoughts about yourself as a person and your thoughts about your specific person or other people in your life. So when you know this information, you can choose different thoughts deliberately, and you can choose to focus on those thoughts, and then your reality will start to change. I want to read a quote here from The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard. The great secret is a controlled imagination and a well-sustained attention firmly and repeatedly focused on the object to be accomplished. It cannot be emphasized too much that by creating an ideal within your mental sphere, by assuming that you are already the ideal, you identify yourself with it and thereby transform yourself into its image, thinking from the ideal instead of thinking of the ideal. Every state is already there as mere possibilities, as long as we think of them, but as overpoweringly real when we think from them. So thinking from something versus thinking of it. So let's just do an example. You can think of having a relationship, a romantic, happy, committed relationship with your specific person. You can just kind of conjure in your mind, oh yeah, I can think of that. Think of a person who has that. And then you may be thinking in your head, but I don't have that right now and I want it. But thinking from it is thinking the thoughts and the ideas that you would have if you were already in that relationship. Oh gosh, I'm so lucky that my specific person loves me. My specific person is so lucky that I love them. Our relationship is so great. Those are just some ideas of some thoughts you might have if you're thinking from being in a relationship with your specific person. But what you're doing is you're focusing your attention on the wanted ideal state that you want to be in, the place that you want to be, the circumstances that you want to have in your life, versus keeping your attention trained on what is right now. And people have a habit. I still do it. I still have to deliberately sort of choose what I want to focus on and what thoughts I want to think about certain situations in my life. And that doesn't ever mean that you don't take stock and say okay, well, where am I right now? What is the actual circumstance, the situation as it is right now? You can take an honest look at that. And then from that place, you then choose the thoughts you want to think, what you want to put your focus on. And there's different ways of doing this, right? Sometimes you choose to focus on something that's going really well in your life. So sort of just get your mind off your your manifestation or your specific person or your financial situation or whatever it is. And by focusing on something that's going well, you're going to attract other things going well to you. And then you find a way to soothe yourself and to find a method that works for you about focusing on what you want. Because that really is the key to all of this. The key is focusing on what you want and not on what you don't want. Focusing and thinking from circumstances of thinking of yourself as a person who is worthy of love and has love now. And however you can get yourself to do that, you do it. Thinking like as a person who is worthy of abundance and has abundance now. Now, that doesn't mean that you go out and spend a bunch of money that you don't have and create circumstances that are even harder for yourself, but you just have a sense of ease and a sense of focusing on abundance that you do have in your life. And then from there, your money situation starts to change. And the same thing with love. You know, from a place of like, you know, I don't have anyone, my specific person is doing XYZ and it's not good. And you're looking at those circumstances and you're recreating them by focusing on them and just shifting your focus to, I am worthy of love. My specific person would be lucky to have me. And they, you know, they do love me. They're on their way to me. Whatever thoughts feel soothing to you and feel like you're thinking from having that manifestation and or easing yourself into it. Like you can kind of hear in the examples I'm using, I'm easing myself into it a little bit by thinking thoughts that I would have like maybe on the way. So if you can't just take the leap to I'm in a relationship and I'm happy and everything is wonderful, that's understandable because of like how jarring that shift is. So you can also just sort of take an easier path by finding ideas or thoughts or affirmations or whatever you want to call them that feel like an easier path to where you want to go. But the point is you want to be on the path to where you want to go, not staying focused on the path of where you are and you don't want to be. Thank you so much for listening. I am just so thrilled that I have the opportunity to talk to you about manifesting because it really can and does change your life, literally. So thank you, and may you manifest exactly what you want.